Hello, and again, if you haven't subscribed, smack it right now. So routine trimming, everybody bangs on about it, all the magazines, all the web articles, everything. Why is it so important? How often should you be doing it, and what should you be doing to make sure that it's done right? Well, watch the rest of the video and hopefully you'll find out. Cheers! So what's the point in routine trimming? Well, everything is about weight bearing. Weight distribution, weight balance, relieving weight, transferring weight, it's all about that. This cow isn't lame at all, but there's a height difference here of nearly a finger, so like 10 millimeters. All of this loose horn, these cracks, these fissures in here, the extra length, they can all lead to further lameness. I want to make sure that they don't get that far. This cow's worth quite a lot of money. It's an investment that you need to be looking after, obviously. For the sake of a 15-minute trim or 10 quid to a foot trimmer or whatever. like standing times. They don't wear them as much as they should. Sometimes they wear them too much. But what's important is that the weight bearing surface is 50-50 between the two claws, whether that's the front feet or the back feet. Now we are basically artificially creating wear when we do preventative trimming or routine trimming. Now that doesn't necessarily mean we have to do a hell of a lot to the feet, but it does mean we need to make sure there's 50-50 weight bearing between the two claws. And to do that, we quickly measure the front wall, so the dorsal wall, which is the wall that runs right down the front when you look at the cow from front head on. That's the one you can see. That should be 75mm. So you cut both claws to that, then ensure that the weight bearing surfaces are basically level between the two, and give them a slight model on the inside claw on the back and a wide one on the outside claw. And it's actually the reverse on the front feet. So when we pick up a cow's foot that's in for routine trimming, basically we're looking for unevenness, any defects that might lead to lameness if they haven't already led to lameness. So we want to make sure the length of the dorsal wall is right, make sure the 50-50 weight bearing is between the two claws, so they're both level in other words, and we want to make sure that the modelling has been done. The modelling is more important to check that there's nothing untoward happening, like the start of a sole ulcer, serious hemorrhaging or anything like that. Any cracks in the white line need to be investigated and dished out so that they don't progress into lameness, and any loose horn or heel horn erosion needs to be taken away, because again it'll start to form an underrun sole, or it'll creep right up that white line and actually create a serious lameness problem. How often should you routine trim? Well, all farms are different, but most farms in general every 5 months is about right, so 2.5 times a year. At that point the cow's feet are starting to grow more than they've worn usually on an average farm. Now in the wild these feet would shed, so they don't need to be artificially worn down by our grinder discs or our knives. They actually shed away, and that's what the pith is. So that white kind of powdery substance you see. So all we are doing is taking it back to where it would be naturally. But why do you get so much growth on the outer back claw compared to the inner claw? Well, when you're standing on your feet with your feet apart like this, when you go to one side, the outside of your foot gets a lot more weight put on it. But if you move to the other side, the inside of your foot doesn't get any extra weight on it really, well, mildly. And each of our feet is equivalent to 2 cow's claws. So one foot, 2 claws. And when they roll to the inside, there's not the pressure put on the medial claw that is put onto the lateral claw. And that's why you get so much overgrowth on that lateral claw. You would think that because there's more pressure on it, it would wear more quickly, but that's not the case. Growth outstrips wear almost all of the time. And this extra growth and this extra pressure that's on the lateral claw leads to hemorrhaging. That hemorrhaging and the extra insults on the quick actually make the bone formation different. So you'll find in lateral claws, so the outer claws and the back feet, the bone, if you stripped it back, would actually be really sort of nodular and rough and bumpy, and all of those little defects lead in to forming lameness, abscesses, problems in the white line and serious sole ulcers. So that's why we preventative trim. Now if you're trimming every 5 months, your cows are very unlikely to become lame. You will get incidences of lameness, and there always will be incidences of lameness, but this sort of inherent practice of just trimming at dry off, it's good, it's a good start, but it's not good enough. You need to be trimming every 5 months. You can't trim a cow and then expect her to be fine for the next year to come. In the year that you haven't trimmed her, she'll have fully grown a new horn wall, so the speed of growth will have completely gone full circle, and when you come to trim her again next year, it's not even the same horn that you're trimming, it's a completely new claw. Now that is why every 5 months you need to be trimming, you need to be routine trimming. If you can't do it yourself, get the professionals in, because trust me, it's worth its weight in gold. If you can get your cow's feet running perfectly by routine trimming and picking up early lameness problems, then your cash cow prices will go up, your cows will eat more, they'll drink more, and they'll produce more. So my advice is trim every 5 months without fail, whether that's mid-lactation, end of lactation, beginning of lactation, trim every 5 months. pick up those early lameness problems and ensure your cows are as comfortable as they possibly can be. Anyway, any questions, stick them in the comments below, and hope you've enjoyed the video. Cheers!